the Casanovians. Yes, the Casanovians. Alright lads, welcome back. Well, if you're new here, I should probably introduce myself. Hiya, my name's Christian. I am the best in the world at daytime cold approach. I'm also the greatest cold approach coach who has ever lived. I get the best client results in the industry. If you don't believe me, just go on to Christian Casanova testimonials on YouTube. So you know that I'm not talking out my arse. Evidence has got the loudest voice. So yeah, nice to meet you. Christian, greatest cold approach coach in the entire world. Get the best results for my clients. Nobody in this entire industry can compare to who I am, what I do, and the results that I get. So if you've been triggered by anything that's just come out my mouth, then congratulations, you've just been trigger maxed. And really, this is how I see success, yeah? Success in business, success with women, success with whatever venture you're gonna do. I think at the moment, many men are suffering from a confidence epidemic, yeah? And majority of the guys that I work with, they have every reason under the sun to be confident, to hashtag believe in themselves, to have this notion of justified arrogance. But for whatever reason, maybe it's the conditioning, maybe it's their childhood, maybe it's the people they're surrounding themselves with, they don't fully lean in to the character that they've built. It's almost like they still feel like the ugly duckling on the inside. It's like their internal hasn't caught up to their external. I think a lot of people today are scared. Yeah, the thing that I make my clients aware of is you don't probably have cold approach problems, and you probably don't have dating problems. Usually what you've got is you've got personal problems which become cold approach problems or dating problems. And really what I help my guys with is the understanding that you've already got everything you need to live an incredible dating life, in the same way that every guy's already got a six-pack, it's just buried underneath a layer of fat. Your confidence is already there, okay? Confidence is not something that you build, it's something that you uncover. And you uncover it through the removal of the unnecessary. So when I say things to people like, I'm the best in the world at daytime cold approach, I am the greatest cold approach coach in the entire world, I get the best client results in the entire industry. Most people think I say this stuff because I've got uncontrollable egoic narcissism. But something that I make guys aware of as well is you don't necessarily have confidence problems. A lot of times you've got consequence problems. So if you think of somebody like Conor McGregor, remember when McGregor used to trash talk his opponents? Like he might have said to Jose Aldo, I'm gonna knock you out in this exact round at this exact time. Most people think that when McGregor was doing that, he was speaking to his opponents. He wasn't. He was speaking to himself. He was providing so much accountability by declaring this intention to the world stage that he had to deliver on the promise he put out there. And this is why I say outlandish things. This is why I say I'm the best in the world when it comes to daytime cold approach. I am the best in the world at what I do. I do get the best client results in the industry. It's not so I can fanfare and put out all of this uncontrollable narcissism. It's to hold me to an elite standard. Okay? Because when you hold yourself to an elite standard, when you're so intolerable about your own success, you rise to your own expectations, okay? And this thing that I call trigger maxing. I was speaking with, so for those of you who don't know, I don't just provide one-on-one in-person coaching to the guys that work with me. We also provide a community, okay? A community of socially sovereign savages, so entrepreneurs, business owners, YouTubers, guys who are doing well in life, yeah? And part of our community is guys can travel, they can link up with me and the rest of our members in different cities across the world. And I want to tell a story here to elucidate the theme of this video. So one of our guys, he flew out to Bangkok, we met up in a cafe today, and as we were speaking, he was telling me about something that happened to him recently at a family gathering. So he was meeting up with his family, some friends as well, and one of his friends came to visit him from the USA. and the two of them decided to go out and do some cold approach together. But there was another member of their group who asked them, hey, what are you guys doing? And they were like, oh, we're going to go out, we're going to cold approach, we're going to talk to some girls. And the guy in question was like, oh, that's weird. Why are you doing that? That's so strange. And then our guy attempted to justify his reasoning, attempted to justify his action. And the thing that I said to him was, dude, whenever you present things like, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do some cold approach, you are going to trigger people, all right? You are going to be misunderstood by the masses. You're going to get people who try and drag you down because remember, people want to see you do well. They don't want to see you do better than them because it holds a mirror up to who they could have been. So really, you can't be half a gangster. And this is something that I learned from Tom Torero back in the day. No matter who you are, okay? No matter who you are, you're going to attract hate. And if you don't attract hate, you're doing something wrong. And during our conversation in Bangkok today, our entourage guy, the deeper that I started to dig, so he's working for the family company at the moment. He's working for his dad. His dad is an international business owner. But he was saying to me as the conversation started to get a bit more deep, he was like, Christian, how do you know when you found your purpose? Like, how does it feel? Because at the moment, I'm waking up every day and yeah, I'm making money, but I don't feel as though this is what I was destined to do, right? It feels like I'm just in this grind phase where I'm showing up to work, I'm putting my reps in, I'm clocking in, my dad's proud of me, but I feel as though I've got this deeper purpose, I've got this deeper why. And the thing that I said to him was, dude, start making content online. So a lot of our guys in the entourage, we've got guys who are making YouTube channels, right? So putting content out there into the world. And he was like, yeah, but if I start making content, I'm kind of worried that once I start showing my face, I'm going to get judged. People might misunderstand me. I start to attract a lot of hate. This is a common fear. And I think that cold approach and creating content online, they are symbiotic because both of them demand that you put yourself out there. You have to risk pissing people off. You have to risk being misunderstood. You have to fully accept that when you're on the world stage and delivering content out to the masses, there's going to be plenty of people who just don't like you. But this is what you need. And this is why I think it's a modern day rite of passage. If you're going out there and you're cold approaching, and you're also putting content out there online, like a lot of our guys do inside the entourage, this is going to make a man out of you. Because this is what happened to me. 5 years ago, when I first started making content in my grotty apartment in central Leeds, and I used to use an air purifier as a tripod, I used to get comments on the regular from guys telling me that I was ugly, that I was physically disadvantaged, that I was a 4 out of 10 at best. People used to critique me on my fashion, on my conversation skills, on my ability to communicate with women. Everything was critiqued, everything was criticized. And during our conversation today in Bangkok, our entourage guy was like, did that not get to you? Did that not debilitate you? Did that not make you sad? Yeah, it did. But this is what more guys need, okay? I think we live in this cotton wool culture today where guys are scared of rocking the boat. They're scared of putting their head above the parapet. They're scared of attracting unsavory attention. But the moment you make peace with that, the moment you realize if you are cold approaching, you're not a normal individual, okay? There's probably a part of you that is rebellious. There's probably a part of you that is a maverick. There's probably a part of you that is a renegade that refuses to be told when he's allowed to go for a shit by his boss. You probably know you're capable of more. You probably have this burning desire in yourself to do more than you're currently doing now. And this is why the guys who work with me, the guys who join the entourage, yes, we're all striving to become elite at the skill of daytime cold approach. Okay, everybody in the entourage, you have to cold approach. You have to get to an elite standard, and we help you with all that. Okay, you'll get trained by me and my head coach. We will get you to an elite level at cold approach in the fastest possible time. But for me, that's the easy part, right? The easy part is getting you to an elite level at cold approach, where you can approach any woman, anywhere, anytime, have dates on demand with wife-worthy women. Like that's the easy part. The next part of the renaissance is getting you to a place where you don't give a flying fuck what people think of you anymore, becoming what I call a socially sovereign savage. Because during our conversation today, and I know a lot of the stuff that I say on these live streams, if you watch every single live stream, you probably think, oh, I've heard him say this, but reiteration is consolidation, right? We need to be reminded more than we need to be taught, and you never fully understand the lessons until you experience it firsthand. So when you understand that polarization is profitable and the goal is not to be everything to everybody, the goal is to be the right somebody for the right somebodies. If you read that piece of literature called 1,000 True Fans, you only need a thousand people who love what you do. If 1,000 people are paying you $1,000 a year, you've got a decent business based off of that. So if you're somebody right now and you want to create content online, you want to create a personal brand, you want to get onto social media, but you've got this fear of what other people are going to think of you, you've got fear of being hated, you've got fear of not receiving validation or veneration from the masculine. It's the same when you're first starting cold approach. Yeah, you have to be prepared to be misunderstood. Rejection is so necessary, and this is what a lot of guys don't understand. The way that I see rejection is not a sign that you're unworthy. It's a sign that the filter is doing its job. Because if you're like the guys who I work with, because I don't work with these low value, retarded guys. I made this point yesterday. Not everybody should be cold approaching. Okay, watch the live stream yesterday. That's a further display of trigger maxing. Because not every guy should be cold approaching. Like if you're a low value dude, if you're a fat fuck, if you've got terrible social skills, poor mental hygiene, you lack grooming. Like I'm making a new Instagram profile right now, Christian Casanova Dating, and I get these low value cretins who will comment on some of my reels and they'll say things like, oh, this doesn't work, or this would never work for me. And I click on the profile, I take a look at the profile picture. It's like this fat fuck who is overweight, terrible grooming, has got some random mirror selfie as his profile picture with a big fucking pot belly. I'm like, yeah, too fucking right, it won't work for you, you fat fuck. Like, of course it's not gonna work for you. This is the point I was making yesterday. Like, cold approach, a lot of guys think it's this cheat code into the sexual marketplace. Oh, learn these 5 easy ways to get any woman into bed. No, you fat fuck. That's not how it works. It's a cheat code for the right men because cold approach, it's a hyperbolizer. So it will exaggerate your current character. So if you're like the guys who I work with, maybe you're an entrepreneur who's building cool shit. Maybe you're focused on becoming the most fuckable version of yourself across the board. For you, you might not just be leveraging cold approach as a dating strategy, but you might be using it as the most aggressive form of self-development to raise your collective value across the board. Then for you, as a high frequency, high agency individual, cold approach will hyperbolize and exaggerate your current character. So the feedback you'll get from women is, oh, I really appreciate this. I respect it. I've got a boyfriend, but I really appreciate and respect the courage. Keep doing this, right? That's how you know you're on the right path. But if you're like some low value, low frequency, low agency dude, and women are giving you these weird looks, or you're not getting any women to stop, your conversations are going fucking nowhere. Maybe you're getting phone numbers, but every single phone number is flaking. You don't have cold approach problems, dude. You've got personal problems. And for a lot of guys, you need to get the basics in check first. And like I said in the live stream yesterday, this should trigger you, right? If you know that you are slacking off, if you haven't been training religiously, if you're working a job you hate in a city you despise, if you're making terrible money, if your mental health is fucked because you're wanking yourself off to porn every night like I used to do, cold approach is not for you. And in fact, it's the worst thing you could do because it's going to exaggerate your current character and it's going to make you more creepy. It's going to make you look like more of a loser. You're going to look like this low value dude who's running around the streets chasing women for some form of validation. You should not be cold approaching if you fall into this category. Like if you are a low value dude who's got fuck all going on in your life right now, this isn't the content for you. This isn't the discipline for you. You need to get your life in order first. Beautiful women are a beautiful byproduct of a beautiful life. And this needs to polarize. This needs to piss you off because when you're in an angry state, which is hopefully where I'm getting you now, that's when change happens. Okay, it's when you're ruminating in this apathetic frequency where you're feeling sorry for yourself, where you're slacking off, where you don't have any ambition. Nothing gets done there. And I was in this state for so much of my life. Yeah, just go back and look at the oldest videos on my channel 5 years ago. Just go onto my homepage and click on videos, then press oldest. And you'll be able to see where I was. Low-life loser, working a job I hated in a city that I despise, porn addict, erectile dysfunction, used to wank myself off in a sock every night because I felt sorry for myself. used to get blackout drunk on the weekends because I was trying to escape a life that I unknowingly built for myself. Yeah, I woke up the next day, depleted bank balance, banging headache. And I think I always had this hope that, oh, maybe somebody else is coming to save me. Oh, one more video is going to fix it. No, Christian, one more video is not going to fix it. Watching 3 videos and expecting your life to change is like sniffing a condom wrapper, expecting to lose your virginity. At some point, you realize where I am is exactly where I need to be. And this is me talking to myself, by the way. Okay? So when you understand that polarization is profitable, okay? When you're going into your cold approach conversations, when you're leading with unapologetic authenticity, so you've removed your closet heterosexuality. A lot of guys, they're walking around with shame. They think it's wrong in some way to cold approach women, right? If you're a guy, like the guys who I work with, who you are, let's say, a high frequency guy, you are investing into yourself as a man, you're building a business, you're living an international lifestyle, you are creating a compelling social media presence so the world starts to take you more seriously, then when you are going into your cold approach conversations, you're not going into every conversation hoping every woman is going to like you. You're really going out there to find your fuck yeses, okay? And it's the same when you're creating content as well. So during our conversation today, the entourage guy was like, what's the best strategy for getting started with content? And I was like, the same when you're first starting cold approach, dude. Like when you're first starting cold approach, you want to get 100 direct approaches done as fast as possible. When you first start creating content, especially if you're making content on YouTube, just aim to get 100 videos out there in the fastest possible time. The thing that fucks so many guys over is the time between thought and action, okay? Because a lot of times, let's say, you are my ICP, all right? You are my ideal client profile. You are a guy that I'm looking to attract through my content. Then a lot of times what happens is you get stuck in this egoic rumination where you have this vision for your life. You know you want to start putting yourself out there. You know you want to start cold approaching. Maybe you've got a fear of rejection. Maybe you're terrified of not receiving approval from the feminine. Maybe you've got this intense burning fear of what other people are going to think if they see you approaching. So it's like there's this gap there, okay? And what I've found to be true is the faster you can minimize the time between thought and action, that's when you become powerful, okay? But for a lot of guys, they have an idea of something they want to do, but then it's like, oh, what are people going to think? What are my family going to think? What are these random internet trolls going to think? You have to be hated. You have to be misunderstood because it's like Dr. Seuss once said, those who mind don't matter, those who matter don't mind. And if you understand that, it'll change the way you approach the game of life, business, interpersonal connections. Because really, when you're putting yourself out there into the world, it's about polarizing. It's about being ruthlessly unapologetic who you actually are, that the wrong people get repelled, but the right people lean in closer, okay? And as I was saying that today, he started to understand it. He was like, yes, I am holding myself back. I do want to start making a business on social media. I know I'm capable of more, but there's this fear. There's this fear of what other people might think. What if I attract my family's disapproval? What if? And the thing that I've always kept true is belief follows action, okay? A lot of guys are waiting to believe in themselves before they start anything. But it's not about prioritizing the belief. It's about prioritizing the behavior, okay? This is what I did when I was a low-life loser 5 years ago. I didn't believe in myself, nor should I. I was wanking myself off into a sock every night. Why would I have any belief in who I was? I had belief in who I was becoming. I had delusional optimism that by making my actions align with my ambitions, I could become the version of myself that's speaking to you today. Like I was having this unwavering faith when I was in that grotty apartment, not because I believed in myself, but because I was like, okay, I know who I want to be. I just need to prioritize the behaviors right now. And I find this is the easiest way to achieve quote unquote success. It's not by having the belief. It's not by doing the manifestation meditations. It's not by red light therapy. It's getting clear on who it is that you want to be, making your actions align with your ambitions, and then just having this delusional optimism until you get there. Because the thing that I've found to be true time and time again is when you start investing into yourself, when you start taking yourself seriously, when you start outworking your self-doubt, what's going to happen is your low-life loser friends who keep you around because your failure makes them feel successful, what's going to happen is they're going to get triggered by you. Okay? This is what's happened with me so many times in my life, where you begin to outgrow your current circle. Okay? And this is why I love the entourage so much, because in the entourage, it's filled with overachievers, right? It's filled with guys who want to see you win, because a rising tide lifts all the boats. You don't want to be around guys who've got status anxiety. I don't know if you know what status anxiety is, but it's one of the most sinister forces in mankind. It was actually explained to me by one of our entourage guys, Richie. For example, imagine you see a guy on TV who's representing England in rugby, okay? If you've never seen that guy in your life and there's no personal connection, you don't give a fuck. But imagine you went to the same school as that guy, and imagine you both played on the same rugby team. And imagine you really wanted to play for England rugby, but for whatever reason, you never made it. Maybe you got an injury. If you see that guy on the big screen now playing for England, you'll get triggered. That's status anxiety, because it holds a mirror up to who you could have been. And that's why guys get triggered by my content. It's why guys get triggered by cold approach content. It's why guys get triggered by guys who are in better shape than them, because it holds a mirror up to who they could have been. And what they usually do is they have to justify it through some other means. So for example, guys will see me in my cold approach conversations, and because I've got so fucking good at cold approach, they'll say things like, oh, this is scripted, all the girls are paid actresses, in the same way that if a guy sees another guy who bears some level of commonality to him, and the guy is in incredible shape, it's always, oh, this guy is clearly taking something. This guy is clearly not natural. Or if you see a guy, or if these trolls see guys who are making a lot of money, living an international lifestyle, it's always, oh yeah, daddy's money, trust fund kid. Because to accept somebody achieved it through merit is metaphorical death for a lot of people. So if you're getting triggered by something, then there's an element of truth inside of it, and you need to honor it, because life will present you with people, situations, and opportunities to reveal where you are not currently free. So what I would suggest for you is find where you're triggered by things. If you see a guy who's making more money than you, who's got a hotter girlfriend than you, who's living a better lifestyle than you, most people will get triggered and then justify why they don't need it. Okay? And a lot of people think comparison is the thief of joy. I would say a lack of comparison is the thief of progress. I think one of the best things you can do for your life is surround yourself with people who are further ahead than you. Like when I went to Bali, I've been to Bali twice now. If you've been to Bali, you'll get it. Bali is an incredible environment to drive home accountability, because all the guys in Bali are in incredible physical condition. I don't know about the state of their financial affairs, but I think if you're somebody who wants to get into elite physical condition, maybe you want to go on a detox, maybe you want to get absolutely shredded, go somewhere like Bali. Why? Because everybody is on it, okay? Environment really does dictate your reality, yeah? It's like proximity is power. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. So I think that whatever area of life you want to start to excel, it's about becoming successful through osmosis. That's why I put the entourage together, because there's so many weird guys in the cold approach space. You might even be part of a community right now, which is some like low value Telegram chat where there's a bunch of retarded basement dwellers all talking about what the perfect open is, but none of them are actually going out into the field on a consistent basis. The entourage is, what I've essentially done is taken the most capable wingmen on the planet who've all been trained by me. They've all integrated my cold approach philosophy, and they're hitting it every single week in 5 different continents across the world, in multiple different cities. They're winging with each other. They're buying houses together. They're fucking traveling together. They're linking up and approaching together. The entourage really is for the overachieving guys who want to be pushed even harder, okay? It's for guys who want to be triggered, who want to have a mirror held up to their current self, to realize they could be doing more. Because that's what the whole point of this is. It's not just about cold approaching to try and get laid, to try and get your fucking notch count up. It's how can I utilize the skill of daytime cold approach to become undeniable, to become the most fuckable version of myself across the board, understanding you can't be half a gangster, okay? You can't be half a gangster. If you're going to cold approach, own it, right? Going halfway with half a heart only digs a deeper grave. A lot of guys, they have this resistance to approaching women because they're not fully bought into it. Right? Remember, I was talking about sexual shame before. If you think it's wrong to approach women, if you think it's wrong to be a man and have masculine desire, if you think it's wrong to walk over to a woman and give her a compliment, you don't have cold approach problems. You've got personal problems. And a lot of these thoughts are not even your thoughts. They've been brainwashed into you by the conditioning of society. And what cold approach will do for you is it doesn't solve your problems, but it dissolves them. Okay? Because when you put yourself out there in the field, you'll get a lot of undesirable feedback. You might have done 20 approaches in a row and not got a sniff. You might have got a bunch of phone numbers that didn't convert into anything. It really allows you to build mental resilience. It makes you better at sales because seduction is sales. It makes you more emotionless. You start to realize not how you want the world to be, but how the world actually is. I really do see it as the modern day rite of passage, but it is a cheat code for the right men, okay? I would go back, watch the live stream that I put out yesterday, because if you're unsure right now if cold approach is for you, then I would watch that video and hopefully you get triggered by it. Hopefully you get triggered by every single piece of content that I put out, because if everybody likes you, you're not living, right? You're hiding, and you know it in yourself. And it spills into everything that you do, the way you do business, the way you love a woman, the way you spend time with your family, the way you communicate to the world, the way you walk down a street. It's like you can smell fear, you can smell scarcity on so many people. And it doesn't happen by luck, it happens by design. Right? I was a scared, insecure, lost little boy for most of my adult life. I'm not saying I'm some fucking alpha giga chad right now. No, I've got loads of shit that I struggle with. I've got loads of insecurities. I've got loads of things that I'm still working on. Like I'm a work in progress like everybody else. But one of the best things that I've done for my life as well as cold approach is just putting shit out there online, right? Creating content. Like actually vocalizing the things that I think, like talking about who I was, talking about having erectile dysfunction, talking about being a low life loser. Like there's nothing people can say to me anymore that I've not already said about myself. And that's why I love content. That's why I love cold approach. Anything that fills me with fear, anything that causes resistance, it's run towards resistance like my life depends on it. So look, if you're completely new to my content, hopefully I've triggered you, hopefully there's a part of you that hates me, hopefully there's a part of you that dislikes me. I welcome you to unsubscribe from my channel. I welcome you to dislike this video if you're a low-life cretin who's got fuck all going on in his life. You're not the guy for me, dude. I only want to be working with guys who are doing well but want to do better. This really is my ICP. It's guys who are doing well in life but know they're capable of more, but maybe they've not had the accountability, the systems, or the brotherhood to get them there. So if you resonate with me, and I think the final thing that I want to say here is when you do polarize and when you do trigger people, then what's going to happen is the people that really fuck with you, they are really going to fuck with you. Right? And that's what I'm trying to build here on YouTube, is not these surface level connections with guys who are just interested in some fucking pickup, right? These low life, fucking low value retards who are like, oh yeah, what's the best open? No, I want to build deep connection with overachieving guys. I'm not saying that you have to be the finished product right now. Maybe you're a younger guy who's working on building some cool shit, but I want to build deep, meaningful connections with overachieving guys who have this insatiable obsession with progression, because all of this goes deeper than day game. All right, once you've got your dating life sorted, once you know you can get more dates and you know what to do with, then it starts to become more purpose driven. Like, who am I? What am I actually trying to achieve? What do I want my legacy to be? And I would say, go over to Christian Casanova testimonials. I just uploaded 3 new testimonials yesterday. If you're somebody who wants more information about the entourage, how my coaching works, what actually all this stuff entails, go over to Christian Casanova testimonials and watch the first 3 testimonials on that page from Joseph, Baltus, and Ephraim. And that'll give you more insights into who I am, what I do, the type of guys that you can be associated with. Like, we've got guys in the entourage who are running marathons, who are traveling the world, who are creating YouTube content, building cool shit together. It's just like, I don't know, it's almost like Fight Club meets Soho House is the best way that I can describe it. It's just a conglomeration of mavericks, rebels, and renegades who refuse the conditioning, who refuse the sedation, and just want to become the most fuckable version of themselves across the board. So yeah, if any of this has resonated with you, awesome. If you completely detest me, that's even better. Yeah, and I'll leave it there for today. Yeah, I just wanted to put this together, speak my thoughts, put some stuff out there, hoping it finds the right people, repels the rest, and yeah, go over to Christian Casanova testimonials so you know I'm not talking out my ass.